Hey, welcome to your Cancer horoscopes for the week of the 21st through the 27th of January. And it's all about big ideas for you guys this week and a little bit of emotional thinking as well, which has a tendency when you're having these big, brilliant ideas to sort of creep in and change the whole flow of energy from good to bad, sometimes in a matter of seconds, literal seconds. I have a Cancer kid. This happens a lot, not all the time, but a fair amount of time. Everything is great, something happens, boom, it's a bad day all day. And the moon coming into Cancer really is what is responsible for that, as the moon comes into Cancer Tuesday and Wednesday, moves into opposition with the Sun, Pluto, Mercury, Mars. Really, as you're really focused on your long-term career goals and making that money, and the moon comes in with these emotional thoughts, and it just takes one little thing to trigger you and go from I can do this to it's absolutely impossible and I don't even know why I bother trying. That makes sense. Now, pardon me. Here's the thing. Life is a balance of good and bad. The terms good and evil have existed since the dawn of time. In fact, the absolute first example of good versus bad is the sun, the light and the darkness. And it comes from those two specific things. When the sun is out, then everything is lit and is being fed and is growing. And when the sun is down, everything is dark and it's not being lit and it's not growing. It's not being fed anything. So literally, the balance exists from that one thing that's been happening every single day since the earth began, right? And we have good days and bad days. We have situations where things are going great, and then all of a sudden they're crap. And this is just the balance of life. And the thing is that we don't necessarily learn from when things are great. We learn from when things are crap. So I really feel that this week for you guys, one of the biggest lessons around this issue is how you handle what happens, how you handle the bad news. That makes sense. If you go to the extreme of that's it, I knew it, it's over, chances are it's not over. This is just what your emotional reaction is to the situation. And with Jupiter's, I'm sorry, with the moon being in a grand sextile with Jupiter, Uranus kind of a little bit, Saturn and Neptune in those 2 days, Jupiter and Uranus are very much focused on inner trauma. So triggers are a necessity in this. And this is the issue, is that when you get into a situation where all of a sudden there is a problem, this problem triggers a previous problem where it didn't work out for you. No matter how much work you put into it, it just was not going to work. Now, with that being said, that does happen at times, and there's usually reasons why that happens, but that's neither here nor there. The point is that you keep going, is that you find a way around the problem rather than emotionally reacting and just shutting it down. This is where I can't say is the number one cause of depression, but I will say that a lot of depression is rooted in this very problem here. You try, you fail, you don't try again, you never succeed. You live in this space of no matter what I do, it's just crap and it's never going to get better. So, really, this is happening to remind you that it doesn't have to be that way, that your a reaction is based on what's going on right now, yes, but it's also being fed by what has happened in the past. And when you separate the two, the emotional reaction becomes less powerful than when you're just dealing with what you need to deal with right now, which is the feelings and the frustration that you're dealing with in whatever the circumstances of your goals, specifically those career goals. So it's uncomfortable and it's difficult and it may seem like the end of the world, but usually it isn't. Give yourself some space, walk away from it, calm yourself down, go back to it. You will probably see it in a completely different way once you're able to refocus yourself and sort of get out of that panic mode, if that makes sense. I do want to add one more thing to this because it's very important. That panic mode is a way for us human beings to self-sabotage. As soon as the panic happens, we go into the self-protection mode. It means that we're not failing, but we're afraid of failure. And so we look at the circumstance as being a failure so that we can protect ourselves from any further failures. It is a really silly way of for us to do things, but it is a basic human nature to do this to ourselves. In fact, nobody, and I mean nobody, sabotages us better than we do. So it's really important also to keep that in mind through this process. So that's what I have for you guys this week. If you love your horoscopes, do consider sending a tip or donation through my coffee link, which is down there in the description of the video. I'd really appreciate that. Also, in the description of the video, if you are interested in getting a personalized weekly reading based on the horoscopes for the week and a little bit of tarot, there is a link to my membership down there in the description as well. You can always email me for more information, including a copy of the video. The video is on YouTube, but it's unlisted to keep the readings private and not necessarily public information. So if you want to check it out, you will need to get in touch with me so I can send you the link to that so you can see what that looks like. And of course, I can answer any questions that you may have as well. I'm Melissa Bruce, Heavy Metal Psychic. I will see you guys next week. And in the meantime, you guys gotta give yourselves more credit. You can do this. You can succeed. You can make magic at any time you want to. You just have to believe in yourselves. So believe in yourselves. Make it a great week, and I will see you guys next week.